For our viewers, could you just share a couple of your top-line thoughts on the dialogue today?
Yeah, I think the dialogue was really about, what's the role of the government, the federal government in promoting broadband, and how should this plan essentially work, and what should it do? And my views were that what this plan really needs to do is find that sweet spot between, on the one hand, really not doing anything and leaving it up to the market and just saying, well, we're doing okay, we'll just leave it there. But on the other hand, really being overly prescriptive and saying, we want 89% of people to have 100 megabits to the home, or you really can't do that either. And what the goal, in my view of the plan, is to nudge the marketplace to help support the marketplace in going in the directions we think it needs to go in. Those directions are, we need to have more people using broadband at home, so we need to help with the demand side, we need to have faster networks, and we need to have networks in more places. Those are the real questions I think that the plan needs to address.
Great. You alluded to demand. I was wondering if you might be able to expand upon that a little bit. Often we hear about the need to deploy to those unserved areas, or even worse, underserved areas. Certainly that is an issue that public-private partnerships, I think you might agree, would aim to address. But on the demand side, I know Pew has a lot of data on folks that have access but don't adopt because they say they don't need it. Is there room in the stimulus, or does the stimulus address that at all from your perspective?
The stimulus does address that a little bit, and I think the plan should address it as well. We did a little short study for a conference we presented at, looking at broadband deployment in the poorest census tracts in Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. And what we found was that 100% of those homes could access broadband at the same prices that I can access it in the Maryland's richer and higher income Maryland suburbs. So I don't think in those areas, it's not really a challenge if there's no broadband. There is broadband, and the challenge is people don't adopt it. And there are lots and lots of programs and initiatives you can do. The Koreans are the world leaders on that. They had programs for low-income people where they got, if your child did well in school, you got a free computer. They had whole programs around technology training. So we need to really think much more creatively about helping people. Yeah, there are going to be some people who just say, look, even with that help, I don't want it. I think that's a very small percentage of the population. Most people, I think, if given the opportunity, would adopt these technologies, but we need to provide that opportunity.
Great. Well, as always, we appreciate your support and your thoughts on Next Gen Web.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Take care.